episode 183, How to Develop Persistence.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilsa.
And normally shit works on the second attempt. And this is the second attempt. Now I like my voice, and now I have activated the recording button. So we are honky-dory and ready to go on the 183rd episode of the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. And now new with an activated recording session for the episode on how to develop persistence, not global galactically, but more like project focused. But we'll get to that. Before that, let's get down to housekeeping, in which the thoughts that I express here and opinions and giggles and laughs and chuckles and whatever not are all my own. And if they don't resonate with you, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. I'm not here for everybody. I'm here to help everybody. If you don't want the help, just you're listening to this episode. That being said, listening to the episode, if by any chance and in the unlikely case that this episode does not resonate with you 100%, think about the people who you're surrounded with. May it be that, this episode or any other one that you listen to now or in the future resonate more with one of your friends or, family members or whatever. In that case, and in any other case, please make sure to spread the word about this podcast, because it actually helps people. While the mission statement was to fuck over and make fun of all of these gurus raping people's wallets, it actually turned into something valuable for a lot of people. And I think we have now actually cracked at least one listener in every country in the world. And that's what I find kind of exciting, because that's not what it was. I thought it would be like 20 episodes, pissing on all of those people who, with their life improvement BS, try to lure people in, gullible people, rape their wallets, and then rape their wallets again until their wallets are all whatever. Let's not get into juicy pictures. That being said, today's episode, how to develop persistence, is based on, guess what? Something I found on the intertubes. And the intertubes had like this rough outline of how to achieve that. And I quickly went into the deeper levels of my sick brain and found a few situations that actually let me structure these thoughts that I found on the intertubes. So there's basically it's broken up into 4 separate elements that we're going to go into now, one by one. But before we do that, hold on, I got another one. What is persistence meant in the context of, well, no, let's leave it at that. We'll figure it out along the way. So number 1, an absolute purpose and a passion for fulfillment. So what does that have to do with persistence? Right. Well, I was on a pretty shitty project when I started out in consulting because I was young and needed the money. And it took me real bullshitting myself to get my ass down in the chair in the office and to work on the project. However, I then went on to focus on the final result and started kind of reverse engineering the final result. And all of a sudden, because I had segmented and whatever sliced and diced the project into small itty bitty pieces, I was able to put them on a task list. And each and every time I was able to strike off one of these fucking tasks, it was totally fulfilling. And sooner rather than later, a passion started to develop, right? And that's what persistence is about, is kind of like working on the goal, but being passionate about it. And however the fuck you create that passion is entirely up to you, right? For some people, just to give you a stupid example, I saw a video somewhere today. I think it was on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. There was this chick that escaped her 9-to-5 hamster wheel and now does the quote unquote van life. And she was nailing it. And it was for her, she got stuck. She got the initial phases of initial symptoms of a depression, of a full-blown depression in her 9-to-5 and, house, tree, kids, blah. And that was totally insanely fucking interesting. So her moving out of her house, selling it, moving into a fucking van and driving through the world, being at a different location pretty much, whenever she wants to, was such a relief that she was, she had kind of scaled down her work time to 20 hours a week. So like a 20-hour work week. And she didn't need more because, she's living in a van, obviously. But it was more important to kind of read between the lines that she had kind of redeveloped the passion, so that when she was in some kind of work blockade or whatever, she would just, shut her laptop down, go for a walk, and then boom, she would come back, 10 minutes later and, or just, lift her head, look out the van window to the ocean that she was standing in front of. And it was fucking amazing. So, whatever you need to maximize your passion for, whatever shitty project you're in, do it, right? Because work just comes so much easier. The entire thing just kind of flows like a hot knife through butter, and it makes the whole thing more fun, makes it go by faster, right? Because you're passionate about it. And, those kind of ordeals. So interesting perspective to look at. Number 2, an absolute plan kept alive by continuous work. So essentially, this repeats what I just said. Well, actually, I spoilered it. Persistence is fueled by a plan, and you cannot divert from this plan. You shouldn't, right? Once you've made the plan up, you've got left and right, you've got a little bit of tweak mode, but don't take any more input from anyone, to get going and to get started, and it's kept alive by continuous work. So let's take a life situation, right? You got a plan where you want to be in 20 years, right? And then your family and friends come together and they call you a lunatic for, and call you crazy for pulling through on this plan. So that's okay. You can't do anything about relatives. They're there and they're there to stay until they die. Thing is, however, what you can do is if somebody comes along, the relationship dilemma, should I continue on my career? Should I, focus on this woman? And oh my God, this woman has baggage, but I love her and I want to, Then you come to a choice. Do you dedicate more time, towards the person that came into your life, or do you pursue your plan? And that's, a hands down, very fucked up question that you're going to have to ask yourself, right? So whatever new situation comes into your life and you have a plan, a long-term plan, and somebody some tornado comes in, whatever, whether it has, breasts or not, they can, kind of fool with your plan. So can, diseases. There's nothing you can do about that, right? You can get adequate treatment, but it's still going to torpedo your plan. So continuous work means in that sense that, if somebody comes into your life and quote unquote threatens your, absolute plan, it's either going to be that your absolute plan is not absolute anymore, or you're going to have to get rid of the person or, whatever came into your life, right? Enable for you to continuously work to absolve the absolute plan, whatever that may be. I know I'm being very cryptic, but, I hope you know where I'm coming from. Number 3, what you need to develop persistence is a tough, very, very, very tough bullshit firewall against any outside influences. So, what does that mean? It means that there are going to be hundreds of haters that are going to jump at you, if you have a plan, starting your business. Let's take that one. And everybody and their dog is going to know better. Mainly, the counter argument is going to be, that's been done before. Yeah, but not with the iterations that I have planned. These were very genius arguments I had with tons of people. They were like, when I started my first web design firm, I said, yeah, but there are tons of web design firms out there. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the catch. And at the end, I didn't even go into arguments anymore, right? Because I was so pissed off and I was so done with it. So I said, give me your email. And they gave me their email, looked at me like, like a cow was taking a shit and thunderstorm, lightning hit them or whatever. And I said, here, look, I have just sent you my business plan. Please look at it. Then you will see why my web design firm is better than the others. Nobody bothered. It was about taking a shit at me. And mostly, the people that took the biggest shits were, the most lazy motherfuckers on the planet. And there was no constructive criticism, right? That needs to go through your firewall. That's why I said, deliberately said bullshit firewall. Right. But again, everybody is going to, take a shit at your plan simply because, they're in a comfortable position. They have a job, they're 9 to 5 and they do not understand the entrepreneurial mindset. And that's okay. But, then it's about don't shit at other people who dare to attempt to change the world. If you don't want to change it, that's fine. It's fine by everyone. And that's kind of like how you have to define the rules in your bullshit filter. While on the other hand, bullshit firewall, sorry. On the other hand, and I already introduced this thought, you need to leave certain ports open, the techies will understand, for reasonably or reasonable constructive criticism to be able to come through. These are, from your mentors. This feedback is maybe from a totally out of your sphere of influence person that comes to you and says, great idea, but here's a few tweaks that you may want to consider. Do so. Don't block out everything, right? Just block out the negative shit. And there's tons of negative shit. So, all but 3 ports remain open. So, number 4, allies and people who believe in you and the project you're pursuing, or the purpose you're pursuing, or the plan you're pursuing. So I think, that's pretty much self-explanatory, right? You want to have allies. They shouldn't be necessarily friends and family, because their criticism is a lot of times unqualified, unthought of, and they have the main goal of protecting you from all of the risks that, yes, entrepreneurship entails, right? It's a fucking slippery slide, and there's about 1 billion things that can go wrong and that you can think of, but it's the billionth and first that's going to fuck you up. So they want to prevent you from that, and that's okay. That's their fucking job. But if you want to go that route, all of this negativity that they're going to throw at you is going to be counterproductive because it's going to make you doubt your plan, right? That being said, I think, it's down to these 4 things, at least for me, that, I found to be very helpful and interesting, reflecting upon and putting together this episode. As always, if you have questions, please email the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. And other than that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. So in that sense, stay safe, keep the peace, and we'll be in touch tomorrow on, what's tomorrow? Thursday. See you, folks. Bye-bye.